Welcome to Two Birds, One Stone. I'm your host at Red Sea Trent, joined by my brother Garrett. Cardinals improved to 3-0. They go down to Jacksonville and beat the Jaguars in a ugly ass game to start. Clean it up a little bit in the second half. We'll get into all of it. Your first initial reaction of the win, Garrett?
Kind of the same theme as last week. Win's a win. There's a fear in me that we're kind of going to start to play down to our competition every week, which I hope isn't a thing, but something that I kind of wanted to throw in. You got engaged this weekend. We kind of thought it was going to be a terrible weekend for you, but it was kind of flirting with a bad weekend, but it turned out all right. So congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, little brother. Yes, I did. I got engaged on Saturday evening. So I'm sitting there watching the game, and we're choking a game away to the Jaguars. And I'm like, my weekend's about to be ruined, and I just got engaged yesterday. So thank God the Cardinals pulled through. It about ruined my whole weekend, but overall good things. A W and put a ring on a finger. So
put a ring on it, sister.
Around. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get to everything. I guess, like you said, you don't want that to be a theme. Ugly wins, and a win is a win is not at all what people were kind of hoping for going into this game. You look at the final score, and it's like they won by 2 scores, 31-19. But yes, it started so slow.
And I was kind of thinking about, I think I saw somewhere on Twitter, which I kind of thought it as well. If you don't have that fluke return kick, I mean, the game's not near as close. But still, it should have been an absolute manhandling. And I kind of feel that this season's gonna be a type of, we play down and play up to our competition. I feel like it's gonna kind of be the theme.
I think we kind of saw that a lot, similar last year, that Dolphins game where we're at the beginning of the season, we're having a going on an upswing, and then we're supposed to win that game, and then we end up losing it. But yeah, it started off decent. We force a 3-and-out on Jacksonville's first possession. We get the ball back. We drive down the field. We score on that Kyler bootleg. And at that time, it's like there was nobody accounting for Kyler on that play whatsoever. Right. It's like, the Jags don't even watch film. Yeah. Like, we ran that exact same play against the Titans. Like, you didn't have anybody accounting for Kyler. I was like, it's going to be a long game for them. And then after that, everything went wrong in the second half, or in the first half. From the epitome of it was that Rondale Muff punt. I don't know if you saw the video.
The ref literally hit the ball with the flag, and they didn't even call anything with it. I don't know if they should catch it or what. I've never seen that happen before.
I saw that, dude. Refs are getting very flaunty with their flag throwing.
Yeah, they did
that one. Okay, I get you're trying. The idea is to throw the flag similar to where
make it visible, so you can everyone knows. Yeah.
But on the Rondale play, it literally, he's going to catch the ball, and you see the direction of the flag hit the ball and just drop down in the air.
Yeah.
I saw in real time, Rondale kind of looks back before he goes for the ball.
At first, I thought he hit him. I thought the ref hit Rondale with the flag, and I was like, I knew something weird was happening. But yeah, refs, get it the fuck together. We're tired of it.
I was just watching the Raiders Dolphins game too, and Zay Jones was on a penalty or on a runner on the left sideline. He gets pulled down by his the back of his helmet, so it's a horse collar, and the ref, just the force he took to whip the flag out and sling it in the air, he threw it as high as he possibly could. It came down and hit a Dolphin there too. It's like, hey, refs, chill out, man. Just do your job.
Refs be tripping.
Drop the flag on the field, and we move on from there. But yeah, the whole first half, it would seem like the offense would kind of get going, and then there'd be a big penalty called back.
It almost kind of felt like they went into it. I mean, I know this isn't true, but it kind of seemed like they went into it without a game plan. We're just I wasn't a huge fan of the play call. I felt like they tried to force the run too much, which I wasn't a fan of.
I think they should have ran the ball more. I would
have rather saw it. Kyler's one of the premier passers of the league, so I would have loved to see the ball in the air more personally.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like I was saying, with penalties kind of setting us back, it was a 3rd and 4 early, one of the first few drives, and then Max Williams gets called on that terrible offensive pass interference. Within 2 yards, everything is legal. So he takes 2 steps forward, then kind of sets to pick the man that's on Hopkins, and he puts his hands up like he's looking to receive a pass. the refs end up calling that OPI on a play that we converted. Hopkins, I don't know, a 20-yard plus catch or so. Hopkins had a pretty slow game. I think he only had 3 catches for 21 yards. But we'll get to that. The offense, I mean, the other receivers around him kind of picked him up. We know he was going into the game he was questionable to begin with those ribs.
Right.
So you don't know if that kind of held things back.
I think it kind of did.
The way the game moved.
I think that they were. I mean, I don't think at any point they were like, "Oh, we got this under wrap," except towards the end. But I don't really think he was helping us out there too much. So they were kind of just willing to play it safe and save him for the season,
which makes sense. But I thought in the first half, it's like, in my opinion, I thought they needed to run the ball more. It seemed like everything was a drop back or play action. I know you don't need to throw the ball or run the ball to set up play actions, but if nobody's biting on it, I don't know. It just seemed like we could have had spots where there's 3rd and short where James Conner's back. You can hand the ball off to James Conner on 3rd and 1, and there's no shame in if you don't get it, there's no shame in that. That's not a terrible play call. You should be able to trust your personnel. But
I agree. I don't you know what? I don't agree. I kind of felt like it was kind of interrupting Kyler's flow. Like it just felt way too forced. Like I feel like our strong suit is having D Hop and Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore and AJ Green out and tearing up the Jags secondary, but it just didn't really. It was off all game. Nothing ever seemed like it was in a good flow until we got to the second half a little later on. But it just did not seem like we fell into our groove at all.
Yeah. Another game, another kind of scratch your head Kyler interception. We were driving I think we're at midfield. We actually got helped out by a penalty. I think we just had maybe a face mask or something on the Jags to kind of move. Yeah. It's like, okay. And then Kyler he's got a clean pocket. He steps up and he tries to hit Kirk on a post in double coverage. And it just really wasn't even close. Like,
I just don't know if he didn't see the high safety or what coming down, because I don't know. I really don't know why you throw that ball. I don't understand. I don't know.
I didn't hardly address it the first 2 weeks because it's like, okay, I'm going to put up with mistakes with Kyler every once in a while if he plays well, but he didn't have a bad game. But that's just one where it's like, what are we doing here? Where it's a tight game and there's just no excuse for that. Like
it's frustrating. That's what it is. I mean,
you got to take care of the ball.
I said it last week, and it was with his 2 picks, it's nothing to do with his physical abilities. It's all his mental. And whenever he does dumb shit like that, it pisses me off 2 times as if it was something physical, because it's something that he can easily avoid. He doesn't have to he doesn't, I don't know. You know what I mean?
So we're 3 weeks in and Kyler's got 4 picks. So something to look at. I mean, that's got to be cleaned up. Like you said, I think in last week's episode, this was the Jaguars. So, I mean, we were able to overcome it with good defense in the second half, but you want to see that kind of cleaned up. Overall, he did have a decent game, 28 for 34 with 316 yards, the touchdown on the ground, no touchdown in the air for the first time this season. But completion percentage wise, he was good. It looked like he did look comfortable most of the time in the pocket. But yeah, that 1 pick was just kind of what's going on here.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, at the end of the first half, I guess we'll talk about it. So you're setting up. You got 21 seconds to begin with the Cardinals after a Jaguars score. So the Cardinals kind of move the ball. We're around midfield. We're trying to replicate last week where we set Purdy up for just give him a chance to kind of put points on the board going into halftime. But then it's a 68-yarder, and it's like, okay, I get it. You want to be aggressive and you want to show faith in your guy, but that's like, that would have been by far the longest field goal in NFL history at that point. Like,
I don't know.
And the Cardinals have a pretty decent track record when it comes to Hail Marys. Maybe throw one of those up.
I don't know. I don't mind it. I mean, fuck it. I mean, if no one would be talking about it if they wouldn't have returned it. Like, if there was no time left, I'd rather, I mean, fuck it, try it. I mean, he was well short, obviously, but I don't really mind it. It's just the fact that they returned it is what made it so bad. You know, I guess
sometimes like the result is what is the reason that you talk about it. And the result was a touchdown that swung momentum largely, obviously, for the Jaguars going into the half. I don't know. That was somewhat of a head scratcher, but you see on that play too, the replay, there was 3 or 4 guys that got held in the Cardinals there. I know in a big play like that, the refs kind of want to keep the flag in their pocket, but Max Williams was basically tackled on that play. Right. It doesn't help that you got your field block team on the field. So there's
Yeah.
little to
Yeah.
no athletes on the
Yeah.
field whatsoever.
A lot of bodies, a lot of meat shields.
Great play by the Jags there. I mean, setting up a wall for the return to run behind, and they took advantage of it. Go into the half with the lead. Kingsbury, after the game, said on Matt Prater's attempt at the 68-yarder was in his range, and the Cardinals wanted to be aggressive. Kingsbury said, "Unfortunately, it didn't work out for us. I don't regret the call." You don't regret it. It is quite unfortunate, I guess. It didn't work out. It not only didn't work out, but it was a huge point swing in the game. And then going after, I guess, at halftime, you're sitting there. It's like, holy fuck. Like, at least in the Vikings game, the offense was kind of moving, and like there was nothing. There was hardly any positives at that point.
I will say, I don't think that there was any point in this game where I was like, fuck, like we need to fix something needs to be fixed. Like, I was pretty confident throughout the whole game, like that it was something was going to turn around. I knew it was at the end of the day, they're the Jags, and I knew that we should beat them. And I don't know. I was just never worried at any point of the game.
We'll get to the rock bottom point of the game, but we start off. We get the ball first at half. I think it was a 3-and-out, right?
Yep.
Was it not? Yeah. And then the Jags at some point in the mid third quarter, like this will be like they started to actually run the ball well. The Jags at that point, we had given them everything. Like they aren't doing anything to score, like the kick six and poor offense, but James Robinson kind of got going a little bit. He entered the game with, I think, like 88 yards rushing. So he had a decent game, another 40 or 50 in the air. So he got it going there in the third quarter. They basically drive all the way down the field, just running the football. And then they score another touchdown to go up 19-10. And at that point, that was my rock bottom point of the game. Cause it's like, damn, if we can't stop the run either, like they got this lead, we might be in tough shape. And it was like nothing that they could do. It was like watching the Vikings game last week with Cook, like just holes are there and they're getting exploited. You wouldn't think that would happen against the Jags. But credit to them. James Robinson had another good game. So
it's alarming. It's alarming to see that back-to-back weeks. You can kind of shelf it away whenever it's against the Vikings, just because you have Dalvin Cook and he's pretty good. But whenever it comes against the Jags, it's a little tougher to swallow. Yeah,
not a huge knock on James Robinson, but that's not a very stout offensive line that you're going against there. And there were some plays in that game, like early in the game, like those first few drives, and then it kind of got cleaned up there in the fourth quarter. JJ Watt was in the backfield. I think he had multiple tackles for loss.
He looked good.
It stiffened up a little bit, but at the same time, you want to see like consistency for sure.
It's tighten up.
Yeah. And we'll talk about like the defense now. Like we talked about this in the very first episode of Two Birds, One Stone on the season preview, like on what we want to see happen. The offense did not have it one way or the other. On paper, they scored points and Kyler's numbers might've looked okay, but it wasn't a game where they were just like, okay, we're going to go out and take it. Like you want to see against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right. The defense did that. So from the first pick with Byron Murphy, Jordan Hicks made a great play at the point of the catch, getting his hands in there, and Byron kind of reaps the benefits of that, being in the right place at the right time. Good play on the ball, forced a turnover. And then the pick six, where the Jags this is the point after they score that touchdown. The Jags score that touchdown with James Robinson running down our throats. Mm-hmm. And then the Cardinals answer. I think that was James Conner's first rushing touchdown. The Jags get the ball back and they decide to run a flea flicker when like their run game is working fantastically. Why are you trying to get so cute? You got this rookie quarterback here. Keep doing what's working and make it a little easier on him. But they don't. They run a flea flicker and JJ gets pressure in Trevor Lawrence's face. Trevor tries to throw a Kyler off his back foot, and Byron read it all the way, picks it off with a head of steam running towards the end zone, and he takes it in for 6. So that's my high point of the game, because that's where I kind of felt like, okay, we're settling down. Right. We retook the lead. The defense made a play to kind of go out and win us the game. We don't need the offense to do anything crazy. Defense, keep us in it and make stops, and we'll be okay.
Yeah, I was very, very, very happy with Byron's play today. It was, I mean, I think we'll kind of, I don't want to spoil anything award-wise for later, but we'll get into that.
Wink, wink.
But I was very happy with Byron's play. Marco played well. Also, I thought he had a couple good plays. Isaiah played all right. He had that bad personal foul call,
late hit,
which is just stupid.
That's the same. He did the same thing. That cost us that Patriots game last season. He had that late hit on Cam Newton.
No, it wasn't even a hit. It was whenever he was down out of bounds and he like took his foot and lifted up his foot and like kind of like flipped him like after it was all done
for no reason.
For no reason, like just to be a dickhead. Yeah, I don't know. But that was bad. Hicks, we need to talk about Hicks. Hicks played awesome. You kind of mentioned that with the first interception from Byron, but he was filling holes all around the field. He just played awesome.
Yeah, he forced that pick, like we said earlier, and then it's late in the game again. I think this is in the fourth quarter now. We're up 31-19 still, and the Jags are kind of moving where they're in our territory, probably around the 30 or the 20. And Hicks comes in and he causes that strip sack that Chandler was able to recover. So, which is my
high point of the game. Is kind of where stuff kind of flipped around for me. Jordan comes in and he forces the strip sack and then Chandler gets it. And that would put us. We were up at that point in the game, right? That was right after.
It was 31-19, so it kind of solidified the game there. So that kind of put it away a little bit. But like I said, it's like, okay, if it's not the offense's day, okay, defense go out there, make plays, force turnovers, get the ball back for us, and put it away. And they did do that. So no shame on the defense. A good game overall for them. You want to see the run game. You want to see the run game. Stiffen up a little bit, but if you're out there forcing turnovers, kind of flying around, I'll take that. Most days the offense isn't going to be as bad as it was today. So, and then we'll go to, let's see, our two birds, one stone player of the week.
So we hinted at it for.
We hinted at it earlier. Byron Murphy, two interceptions, one return for a touchdown. I think he had 4 tackles and then another pass breakup. Like I said, he gave us exactly what we needed in those points in the game to kind of pick us up and get us over the hump, and get us through that trip. There's, like I said, many low points, but the defense and Byron specifically kind of picked it up and got us over the top. So congratulations, Byron Murphy. You always need to clap it up.
Feel free to come on the show.
Shouts out to Byron.
Again, check with us first so we can check our schedules to see if we have time for it, but feel free to come on the show.
Absolutely. Another one I want to talk about. Okay, Cliff, yes. Whatever. Bad play management. Yes, let's call screens on 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16.
I kind of want to implement I don't know if this is too negative for the show. I kind of want to implement the opposite of the player of the week. I don't know what we would call it.
Let's not even give it a name because I don't want to have this be a trend, but go ahead. Let's see.
Cliff is he gets the award for he's not even a player, he's a coach. I don't give a shit. Cliff, you sucked ass today. I was not impressed with you at all. Play calling, not impressed. Situational.
Give multiple examples if you want to call a man out.
We'll do the field goal, even though I said I didn't mind it earlier. We'll do that crazy field goal. Okay. We'll say that screen that you just mentioned. It was what,
2 of them. It was 3rd and 15, and then another one on 3rd.
It doesn't make any sense. And then, like I kind of mentioned earlier, just the overall flow of the game, I just kind of felt he never gave Kyler a chance to kind of get in a rhythm and kind of get stuff moving. I didn't like the run heavy attack. It seemed like for me. So Cliff, you need to fix it, brother.
Hey, you hear that? Get your shit together, Cliff. He's coming after you. I, on the other hand, Cliff, I'm going to give you credit because we're sitting there. We take the lead back. I think we were up, was it 24-19? So we're up 5 and we're in plus territory. We're at like the 10-yard line of the Jags. They stuff us and it leaves us at like 4th and 1. So we could kick the field goal from the 10 and make it an 8-point game, still a 1-score game, still in reach for the Jags, or they go for it. And Cliff decides to put his nuts on the table and say, hey, we're going to go for it here. They end up converting on a Kyler run on a good play design. They fake some motion on an end around, and then he comes flying around the other end.
But really, I mean, how hard of a call is it to make when you have Kyler Murray and it's 4th and 1? I mean, is that really that tough of a call? Like
a lot of coaches
will call. I mean, you have Kyler Murray, one of the best red zone quarterbacks in the league. Like, is it really that? Like,
I think so.
Oh, congrats!
I have another one to say too. He's got another one, but that one ended up counting. But yeah, I think that's big. A lot of people would take an 8-point lead there and go up and trust their defense. I like the play call to put it in your best player's hands, let him go make a play, And he did that. Okay. Can't you give him anything? He did that.
No,
So Kyler goes and he makes that first down. And that led it to James Conner's second TD carry of the game. Big game from James Conner, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Later in the game, this one gets called back, but it was the Cardinals' last possession, I think. They're trying to run their 4-minute offense, get the game over with. It's 4th and 8, and there's no the Jags are running an all-out blitz to block the punt.
Yeah.
The Cardinals called a gunner go or whatever. Annalee catches the ball and throws it right to a wide open.
Wide open.
Gunner.
He literally could have walked there probably. Yeah.
And it was a delay game. So it didn't end up happening. But you're on your own, like 30 on that. Like that's a ballsy play call. And I've said that before. Cliff I bet he's got one of the higher 4th down go for it percentages in the NFL. He's not scared to do that. I think that's a lot to do with kind of just like the numbers and like the analytics of like what your chances are of winning the game at that spot. So I like
Let's get this straight. I like Cliff's ballsiness. I'd rather him be like that, the conservative, obviously, but it's just something like his play calling at certain situational times is just stuff that makes me scratch my head and just stuff I don't agree with.
It can be, but if you want the Cardinals, it's always 3rd and long screens that people bitch about.
I don't get it.
That's an extremely normal, safe play call for every NFL team in the league. Like that's what, if you watch games, all games across the board, not many of them are pushing the ball downfield on 3rd and 17. They're going to play it safe and they're going to do some check downs, do some screen action. So I get it on like 3rd and 7s and things like that. You want to put the ball past the marker, but if it's 3rd and long, sometimes you have to play it safe. Like we talked about, Kyler sometimes forces balls where they don't need to be forced. Let's kind of take it easy here, especially when they're up at that point. But
it's a good thing he's handsome. It's a good thing he's handsome, or else I've been firing tweets out of all game.
He's a good-looking bachelor. So all you ladies out there,
single ladies.
So the Cardinals do end up coming away with the win. I would really love to stop saying a win is a win. I'd like to go out and kind of assert ourselves. I think I made a video and put it out at halftime. Maybe I jinxed us because I had put out a tweet. I was like, fuck this trap game bullshit. Let's go out and put 50 up on the Jaguars. Let's do it. Let's kind of assert ourselves. Maybe I jinxed us a little bit, but we still came away with a win.
Did Red Sea Trent screw the Cardinals force them to not play their best? Who knows?
Hopefully not. So one thing I wanted to kind of get into is the upcoming schedule. So whether you thought this was prettier or ugly or what have you, we needed it because up ahead is kind of a tough road for the Cardinals. We're kind of taping this in the middle of the afternoon or the late afternoon games. So I'm not sure what's exactly going on. I think the Rams are up right now on the Bucks. What is it, like 21-7?
I'm looking now. The Rams it's 31-17.
31-17 Rams.
Yeah, almost ended 3rd.
Are the Rams the best team in the NFL?
The Rams are fucking good, and I bet on them today, so I'm kind of happy about that. We'll get into our bet stuff later. But as far as the upcoming schedule, it's scary. I'm already scared for the game next week because I feel like it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be a fucking shit show, and you're going to see the Cardinals offense you saw today, and what helps us out next week only is that the Rams don't have a very good run game due to injuries and stuff like that. Yeah. But I don't know. It's scary. I'm scared.
I mean, my counterpoint to that is it's Sean McVay, and he always kind of finds a way to get it done on the ground, and then they love to roll out the play action boots and all that kind of stuff. And that's not even Stafford's game. That wasn't what he did at all in Detroit, but he's executing it perfectly right now. I swear Stafford
got more handsome since he moved to LA. He got so much more cool. He looks cooler. He just looks happier. Stafford
he's rocking an arm sleeve. That's crazy.
He has an arm sleeve. He looks cool in the jerseys.
Arm sleeve Stafford scares the fuck out of me, dude.
Yeah, he's definitely scary. They're definitely probably top 2 teams in the league.
I
like the Rams a lot. Not like them as I want them to win, but I think that they're fucking good.
Yeah, so they're up now on the Bucks, so like kind of the consensus best team in the NFL. We'll see how that game ends, but yeah, next week we go to LA and play the Rams, a Rams team we have not beaten since Sean McVay got there, and it seems like they are really clicking on all cylinders. The following week we come back home to the Niners. The Niners haven't played yet today. They play tonight against the Packers. I expect the Packers to win that game, but who fucking knows? The Niners they're a good team. So that's 2 big NFC West games. And then you follow that up going to Cleveland against the Browns, who just played a good game today and shut down Justin Fields and the Bears. So that's a big win today. Whether it was ugly, pretty, same with last week, those 3-0, those 3 wins with no losses in the first 3 weeks, you had to have them because shit's going to get tough.
If we can scathe out of this next 3-game stretch going 1-3, will you be okay with that? Or
I almost tweeted that out. I wanted to send out a poll and saying, how many wins are you okay with in this stretch? So let's extend this a couple. Let's extend this a couple games because after the Browns, we go back home and we have the Texans. And then the following week we have the Packers at home on Thursday Night Football. So we got no games easy. We saw that today, but we have another struggling AFC South team and the Texans kind of breaking up those tough games. So it's the Rams, then the Niners, Browns, Texans, Packers. We're sitting at 3-0 over those next 5 games. What's an acceptable record without you kind of losing your mind?
I kind of look at it like this. I think we need one of the divisional games for sure.
Yeah,
we need to win one of those. The Browns won. It could go either way. It'd be nice to win, but it could go either way, not kill me. But I think obviously we need to beat I think a theme of this year, besides a win's a win, is going to need to be we need to win the games that we're supposed to. Yeah. So that you're going to see that like today with the Jags, we won the game that we're supposed to. I'm kind of hoping. I would think that the Texans would be a game they're supposed to win. So I think that we'll come out of it with 3 wins. If we come out of that 5-game stretch with 3 wins, I'll be happy. Like I'll be okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give us purely out of faith. I'd rather us beat the Rams than Niners. So I'm going to say we beat the Niners and lose to the Rams. So that puts us at 4-1. I say if they lost to the Browns in Cleveland, I'm not freaking the fuck out.
That's
4-2.
I'm not okay. Yeah.
4-2, and then come home. You got to beat the Texans. 5-2. If we lose to the Packers are going to get it rolling. If we, at worst case scenario, if we're sitting there at 5-3 after a Thursday Night Football loss to the Packers on a short week, I'm not going to be freaking out.
And I would love one of the toughest 5-game stretches of any team probably in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to freak out. So you'd love to be sitting there at 6-2, but it's a tough league, dude.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It's going to be tough. Do you want to get into our bets for this weekend?
Yes, let's transition. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Let's talk about our bets. Garrett, you can go ahead and go first.
Your boy has some cheddar to be made.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'll get into let me pull them up real quick. So I did 3 different parlays. So the first parlay, these are all money line. I have the Rams, the Saints, and the Packers. So that one we won't know the result of until tonight. The Rams look like they're going to take it. It was 10 to win 93. So that one's looking good.
What was the score of that Saints game? I know they won, but
the Saints
they kind of killed the Patriots in New England. I thought it was. I think it was like 28.
They didn't kill them. It got close at the end.
28-13 or something like that.
Saints
maybe
game
closer.
Was 28-13. Yeah, it got close at the end. It kind of scored one. But then on my second parlay, I had I have the Raiders, the Bengals, and the Eagles. And the Raiders it's looking good. The Bengals was a good pick.
Bengals went into did they go to Pittsburgh? I think it was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's 2 home losses in a row for the Steelers. So the Raiders went in there last week. That's rough.
And then I have the Eagles on the third team of that. So we'll have to wait till Monday to see how that goes. And then
they play Eagles and
Eagles at Cowboys.
At Cowboys. Ooh, that's tough.
So
for
my first 2 parlays, first 2 games look like they're gonna win. So
sitting pretty, baby.
Sitting pretty. Then my third one, this is kind of a dog shit. I had Kyler over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Obviously that didn't happen. And then Kyler to have over 37.5 rushing yards. I think he had like 12 or 17 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about in the past. It seems like they're really not relying on his legs much at all anymore, which I'm okay with. You might not be, but my bets for the week, I had one that I feel pretty good about. I think it's still going on right now. And then one that's already fucking lost. So we'll do that one first. It was a 6-leg parlay of some heavy favorites. I threw $20 down. I had the Raiders to beat the Dolphins, the Bills to beat the Washington football team, Cardinals over Jags, Ravens over Lions. holy fuck, what a finish in that game. Well, we can maybe hit on that. But then Browns over the Bears and the Chiefs over the Chargers. Chiefs fucked me there. The Chiefs, I said in I think a video I did before, I was going to bet on the Chiefs until they fucked me, and they've now fucked me twice. So I may be staying away from the Chiefs a little bit. That's a 1-2 start. Their sole possession
Chiefs
of last
are
place right now.
Yeah, last place in the AFC West.
That's a tough 2 games. I mean, the Ravens and the Chargers are 2 teams that I thought are both playoff teams going into the season. That's a division game that you lose. I think they were at home against the Chargers too. So that's tough. 1-2 start for the Chiefs.
It's a tough league. It's not it's not as easy as they seem to make it at times.
Hard to stay on top, and they've been on top for 3 years now, representing the AFC and stuff. So, that one's already washed. Thank you, Chiefs. And then the second one, this game's going on right now. I have the Raiders to cover -3 versus the Dolphins, and then the Packers to win tonight outright against the Niners. I put 50 on that. I felt pretty good about both, with the Dolphins starting Brissett and Tua being out. And then I just think that the 49ers 2-0 is kind of fraudulent, and the Packers that week 1 against the Saints is not a representation of what they are at all. So I like the Packers there. So $50 to win 174. Fingers crossed. We still have a chance to make some money this weekend. So
hopefully my parlays can hit and I can buy Doritos instead of Great Value chips.
Hey, those great brand Doritos, Great Value brand Doritos are not where it's
very good.
All.
So let's go Raiders.
Oh, yes. All right. So next week in LA against the Rams, I think it's an afternoon kickoff. Look, stay hot. We want to see some things cleaned up. We'll see how it goes. But 3-0, it's nothing to hang your head about.
Yep. 3-0, baby.
Start.
Can't argue.
That's all you can say. A win is
a
win.
Hey, and we're still perfect, bitches.
And our record prediction is still perfect.
We're still perfect. No one can argue us on that. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you all for tuning in. If you're a Cardinals fan and you're listening, tell some friends. If you like the show, have them check us out. Be a friend and tell a friend. So thanks for tuning in. And until next week, go Birds.
Thank you.